to provide additional parking for his employees?
I mean, there are a lot of people along, a lot of people. There are people along the street, like Felicia, like the people who live on the other side, like Scott. I mean, they don't want parking on the street by their houses, and they want them to park elsewhere. They're not against them, they're against the ramification that the parking is.
I agree with that statement. There are many citizens in and about the areas that our businesses are located that have that problematic situation occur. One thing I'd like to point out, if we are going to be investigating the possibility of having permit parking along the Front Street Walnut area, also signs will have to be removed because if I can, to the best of my recollection, I believe that is all 3-hour parking.
Isn't it part, and I'll ask either the mayor or the attorney, isn't it part of the all-day parking for the train station, where you just need to get a train pass and park over there, and you don't have to make any modifications?
Mr. Bond?
I'm not sure what the parking restrictions are in that particular area, so I can't answer that question.
So where does that leave us?
Well, the initial question that you've asked, as Mr. Noack indicated, what they're asking for is a variation to the parking requirements. It's my understanding the owner has indicated that he's willing to locate his employee parking elsewhere, but that's not addressed in the ordinance, nor would it be, because the ordinance can't say who can park there. It only says what the total number of spaces are for that particular area.
Okay, as the alderman in the 4th Ward, I am supposed to represent the people who are in the ward and their personal concerns. And there are at least 3 people that have approached me with the negative implication to their street, because their feeling is that the deficiency in parking will be made up by street parking on their street, and they want some alleviation of the problem before it begins. Well, actually, it began, but after this, it begins again with more strength to the landowner. So what can we do?
And if I may, and those are legitimate concerns. What I think you need to do is to take a look at what the parking restrictions are, if any, in that immediate vicinity, and then you have an ordinance that sets forth what the parking restrictions are for the various streets throughout the city. And I know we're in the process of working with the chief now on a couple other areas where there's been some transition or some changes in what those uses are. And I think that this should be something direct to the appropriate committee to look at and address what the parking restrictions should be along that area to address the concerns of those residents. But that would be the area to do, as opposed to in this ordinance. You would do it in your comprehensive parking ordinance, and then, as Mr. Noack indicated, you would have to have appropriate signage consistent with the parking restrictions that you as a council deem appropriate for that area.
You call it comprehensive parking? What was your words? What were your words?
Well, I said you've got parking restrictions within your ordinance now. You would have to look at that in terms of your comprehensive parking restriction overall.
Be happy to add that to the agenda next week, my committee.
We can just put that on the Public Health and Safety Committee for discussion.
Okay, as long as we're going to do that, I will not oppose it.
Anything further? Roll call.
Alderman Coles?
Yes.
Alderman Police?
No.
Alderman Knight?
Yes.
Alderman Kadowa?
Yes.
Alderman Shockey?
Yes.
Alderman Winger?
Yes.
Alderman Wesley?
No.
Alderman Lewitton?
Yes.
That passes ordinance O-08-10.
That's the end of my report.
Public Health, Safety, and Judiciary, Alderman Coles.
No report.
Public Works, Alderman Winger.
I make a motion to deny the request from the Woodside Homeowners Association for financial assistance from the city of Wooddale.
Second. On the question? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Opinion of the chair, the ayes have it, motion passes.
My second motion is I make a motion to approve Woods Lift Station contract change order number 4.
Second. On the question?
Question.
Alderman Wesley.
Mr. Mayor, on this project, there's been a lot of, it's been going on a long time. There's a lot of litigation, money that is entitled to the city in liquidation damage due to the fact that it's been going so long. I think our leverage is to make sure we get our money that we are entitled to, is to deny the change order, because in fact that I know there's going to be more change orders coming further down on this project. And I think what they're doing is we are paying off these change orders, and all of a sudden the next bill is going to come and it's going to be a little higher to offset their liquidation damage. So I'm really against paying this until we find out bottom line and it's settled on how much money they owe us now, because it ain't fair that, yeah, we calculating the money now, but we got more bills coming in with them for payments, and what they're going to do is they're going to offset their next payment and make up for that liquidation damage. So I strongly ask the council to vote no for this change due to that evidence that's been presented.
I note on the agenda here, it's contract change order number 4. I presume we have a contract that requires us to make these payments, Mr. Holm or Mr. Bond?
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm confused. This next one my debate is. I'm sorry.
I think Alderman Wesley has withdrawn his objection at this point. But if you want to stay there, I think it's coming up on item 3. Any other further discussion regarding item 2, approval of Woods Lift Station contract change order number 4? Roll call is payment money. Roll call.
Alderman Coles?
Yes.
Alderman Police?
No.
Okay. Alderman Knipe?
Yes.
Alderman Cadella?
Yes.
Alderman Shockey?
Yes.
Alderman Winger?
Yes.
Alderman Wesley?
No.
Alderman Luetan?
No.
That passes?
My third motion is to make a motion to approve Woods Lift Station payment estimate number 4, which is a partial payment.
Is there a second
Second.
on the question?
I will consider my talk from the last one as stand, that I recommend that the council vote no for this due to the fact the liquidation is not there and they're going to offset those next bills. I guarantee that. So I'm asking the council to vote no for this.
Mr. Holm, would you give me a background on this? I missed the committee, what this is?
Sure. This is change order number 4 to the project. This has to do with, physically, it has to do with relocation of a sewer pipe, which was in conflict with the construction. And staff originally challenged this change order, stating that in order to excavate for the project, you had to excavate for the sewer pipe. In other words, the contractor was trying to get we felt the contractor was trying to get additional money for excavation for the sewer pipe, but it turns out that there were legitimate costs associated with the sewer pipe. That's what these costs are in front of you, and this is after many discussions. So this has to do with relocation of a sewer pipe. That's change order number 4. As Alderman Wesley indicated, there are going to be change orders number 5 and then change orders number 6. And the responsibility for those change orders is what we're still working with to try and resolve. There is retainage for this project right now in the $51,747 worth, and liquidated damages, if fully assessed, would be approximately $30,000. So we still have more than enough retainage to handle the liquidated damages. And Mr. Alderman Wesley's statement, though, that some of those liquidated damages are going to be offset by some of these future change orders is most likely correct. We're not necessarily going to see a check for $30,000. We're probably going to offset it with some of these future change orders. But again, the value of which is going to be less than $51,747.
Alderman, please.
I'm not sure how the change orders go, but how do we negotiate when we need to make a change order, how they bill us or whatnot? I know if I was in the contractor's position, and I know the city was coming after me for liquidated damages, I'm gonna negotiate high.
Well, that's where there's a third party out there that protects us. The Illinois State Road and Bridge Standards, and in this case, the Illinois Water and Sewer Main Construction Standards state hourly rates for certain tasks. Now, the contractors all have their own hourly rates that they pay their laborers, and those are certified payrolls, so he has to certify that that's what he's paying his workers. So, I mean, and the attorney can comment, but from a legal standpoint, he has to certify that's what he paid those workers. As far as hours to perform certain operations, that's where those other guidelines come in, and you use all of that information to see, is he legitimate in his request for a change order? Some of the reason behind why it's taken since October to today to bring this to you is staff looking at that and saying, we believe this is too much. Tell us more, or provide support for why you think this value. And again, we've kind of gone around the big circle at this point and have arrived at this final value for change order number 4.
Alderman Cadella.
Gary, you talked about change orders 5 and 6 may appear or likely will appear. Do they exist already, and is there a dollar amount associated with them, and are we just trying to figure out who's ultimately responsible for them?
Yes, and yes. They do exist. Like as I said, some of those will be offset by that $30,000 liquidated damages, and we are trying to assess who's responsible for them. And I don't want to get too much into that tonight because of the potential implications there. So,
If I can follow up.
Alderman Cadella.
Time limit on change orders. Are we past that, so we won't see any after 6?
yeah, we're done. 6 is the final change order that is sitting on the table right now.
Okay, thank
So
you.
the contract is really essentially complete. We're simply ironing out who's responsible now for what.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Mr. Holm, do I understand correctly, although there may be a dispute regarding 5 and 6, there is no dispute between staff and the contractor on pay estimate number 4?
Correct. We finally now reach resolution on 4.
Alderman Wesley.
Mr. Mayor, I still say it's going to be a dispute because we don't know. Tell me, Gary, what's a paint order for 5 and 6, if you have it?
It's, on the advice of attorney, it's probably not advisable that we not go too far forward on the discussion as to 5 and 6.
Well, this whole thing affects the whole pavement form, affects the whole project.
And I understand if Mr. Holm, and that there is no dispute as to pay estimate number 4 between us or the contractor.
Take the vote then. Go ahead.
Anything further? Roll call.
Alderman Coles,
Yes.
Alderman Police,
No.
Alderman Knight,
Yes.
Alderman Cadella,
No.
Alderman Shockey,
No.
Alderman Winger,
Yes.
Alderman Wesley,
No.
Alderman Lewitan.
No.
Fails.
All right, that fails.
And that completes my motions.
Finance Administration, Alderman Wesley.
I have one report. Resolution amending the schedule for regular meetings of the City Council and Committee of the Whole of the City of Wooddale.
Is that your motion?
That's my motion.
Is there a second on the question? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries as Resolution R-08-07.
That's the end of my report.
Community and Economic Development, Alderman Lewitan.
There is no meeting, there is no recommendations or committee meeting tonight. I would ask, does anybody have anything for future? Okay, thank you.
We do not have any other business. We do not need an executive session. There are no items to be referred. However, under items for information only, I would advise you that my fellow mayors elected me to the Executive Committee of the Conference of Mayors of the 7-county region. I serve with 19 other mayors. It's more time and more effort and no pay. However, the good news is that I and the other 19 mayors decide on $140 million of federal funding each year for the STP projects. So Gary, anything, or Mr. Murmas, anything that qualifies for STP funding, please file your request. And also, under items for information only, Mr. Mott.
I am pleased to report we just received today, and you will get a copy of the order. If you recall, the city had been sued by a developer, Mr. Ronte, claiming that the city had discriminated against him. The federal courts dismissed that case today. We'd filed a motion for summary judgment. They granted our motion for summary judgment. That case is over. As soon as the written order is available, it will be presented to you in your future packet, but we are pleased to report that the end of that litigation. And I would offer my congratulations to the mayor on his recent election.
Well, thank you. There being no further business, may I have a motion to adjourn? Alderman Shockey?
Yeah, I'd like to just mention that I believe we have a birthday tomorrow. Our mayor, I'm not going to say how old he is, but just like to
Thank
say
you.
happy birthday to our mayor Wooddale.
39.
I'll go with that. Is there a motion to adjourn? Is there a second? All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.